TalonMasterJ here for week number 4 of the Seoul Do Association Latios Division. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 1-2 right now. Unfortunately, we've taken 2 back-to-back losses. Those happen. Always fun with that. Always fine with taking losses if need be. You guys just saw our battle last week against Arts. It went up on the channel last Saturday as of the time of this recording. And in all fairness, it was a great battle, but we have a quick turnaround, guys, because we are entering Champaholic Stadium for a battle with Stank and his Mile High Machamps this week, guys. And before we get into the team builder side and talk about his team, you know what we have to do. It's Wheel of Battle theme spin. So Stank's battle theme music with a spin of the wheel is Northern Pokemon. I think that's over by the what's it called base? Is it Rukba or is it Rukba? Whatever that one that Ortega is the Team Star boss. So we're gonna be connecting and battling with Northern Pokemon. So I will see you guys at the team builder. Welcome into the team builder for week 4, ladies and gentlemen, of the Seoul Do Association. As you guys know, I'm TalonMasterJ, and I'm here to talk to you guys about our week 4 opponent, Stank and his Mile High Machamps, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna put his team on screen right now, guys, because Stank is known for 2 things. He's known for being really strong and loving himself some fighting types. And of everything else, the dude went mono fighting this week. So he's got one of the only mono-type teams I think I've ever seen in draft. I respect the guy, love the mindset. If you want to go big, you want to get swole, get some fighting types in there, get some fisticuffs. In all fairness, it's going to be a tough challenge for us. Because, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, he's got both Donphan Paradoxes, he's got Iron Valiant, he's got Slitherwing, so he's got 4 chances for booster energy right off rip. And of those 4, only Slitherwing can Terastallize. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of type he would tear into against us. I have some mindsets and some thoughts about what he would tear into. Gallade is a interesting wild card. I mean, he's got Gallade and he's got Iron Valiant. I've got Gardevoir. We all know Iron Valiant as a combination of Mega Gallade and Mega Gardevoir. Rest in peace to the 2 Mega Evolutions. Breloom, Technician boosting, and Spore. It can be really deadly, especially with something like Bulldoze. If anything, I think it still gets Bulldoze. I think it got it in Gen 8. I'd have to double check if it gets it in Gen 9 again. But then again, I've never really used the Mushroom except in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald playthroughs because it was really good in Gen 3. Lucario's his other Terra Captain. From what I've done in my scouting, he has tended to run Terra Normal on his Lucario to maximize extreme speed, which makes sense. I mean, Terra Normal plus E-Speed is really good. We see it on Dragonite and BGC, so in singles, Lucario's the one for that. He's only brought Primate once before, and he ran in Focus Sash as his lead with Stealth Rock, so that's something that I have to keep an eye out for, especially the fact that my only spinner would be Cyclizar. So I have to be very careful about that. Riolu, I mean, it gets Prankster, but even then, I mean, unless he's doing like some kind of weird Thunder Wave set against me, he's not going to bring Riolu. He'd rather bring Lucario for extra damage output. And Hariyama, I mean, we spoke that he has Iron Hands. He's more than likely going to bring the Iron Hands. He's not going to bring the Iron Hands on the Hariyama. He might. I don't know. I'm literally speculating on that. But the fact that he's mono fighting, I give him a lot of credit for it. Because when you're a mono type, it's one thing to prep for a variation, or maybe like 2 or 3 of one type. It's another when your entire opponent's team has one type in common, and they have ways to work around it. But let's get into the team builder, ladies and gentlemen, and let me explain what I'm bringing this week. And I have to say straight up, all of these sets were done with the assistance of Razor Claw. I have to give a shout out to him. Go sub to Razor, guys, by the way. Really good dude in the community. Battled him a bunch of times. Very strong. And very unorthodox, I might add. Very unorthodox. But first up, we have my dog Juno. Life Orb this week. Psychic, Aura Sphere, Vacuum Wave, and Bullet Punch. Psychic spam works well on his entire team. Aura Sphere does well on the Lucario if it's not Terra, or if it does Terra and a Terra normal, it does well. Vacuum Wave does super effective damage to the Lucario. It's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. And then a combination of Psychic, Bullet Punch can take out Iron Valiant. Psychic is a 2-shot on Great Tusk. Psychic is a 1-shot on the Slitherwing if it's not Terastallized. It's good on Breloom. It's good on Gallade. It's good on just about everything, but I have to be very careful with this set. It's one of the win cons. Next up is D-Ray Rules. Annihilate this week running Resto Chesto. I have apparently figured it out that... Now, granted, I was doing this with an acrobatics set in mind, because apparently Annihilate with an item can always knock out a Breloom with an item and acrobatics, which is pretty funny. I mean, it gets a 4 times weakness, but normally you don't anticipate that drop-off of the base power on acrobatics. But Rage Fist, Bulk Up, and Rest Talk with Chesto Berry. Max HP, 100 attack, does good damage, and after some Bulk Ups, then I'm able... So, this is actually what Razor and I figured out. After a Bulk Up, I can take 2 Headlong Rushes, as long as it's not Choice Banded or Booster Energy. So I can get the first Bulk Up off, because I'm faster than most min speed Great Tusks. I can get up 1 Bulk Up. I can live the Headlong Rush, get a second one off, rest up, and then I got a base 150 power Rage Fist, which starts doing massive damage at +2. It's basically a guaranteed 2-hit KO on his entire team. And then, I mean, again, the Iron Valiant is scary because, I mean, he could be a special set this week, and I'm running a physical variation, so the hope is that I'm able to work around a special Iron Valiant. Next up is making its debut this week is Gengar Requiem Eater. This is going to be our designated lead this week because I have Toxic Spikes on this Gengar. I'm leading Toxic Spikes, and the hope is that he does not have Boots. If he does not have Boots, then I can lead up the Toxic Spikes, and every one of his mons are poisoned, and Great Tusk is his only removal with Rapid Spin. So, if I keep Annihilate alive, and I get that Toxic Spikes off, then I can make sure that all of his Pokemon are crippled, and I don't have to worry about any major damage afterwards. But Psychic, Sludge Bomb, and Shadow Ball are 3 standard sets moves on Gengar because it's a very special-oriented attacker. But yeah, those are the 3 sets and the setup with Toxic Spikes. Next up is Choice Scarf, Gardevoir, Moonblast, Draining Kiss, Trick, and Healing Wish. Razor suggested Healing Wish as a last resort in a sense. You know, get the Healing Wish off. I lose one of my Terra Captains, but then if God forbid, you know, Annihilate was low on health, I can get up the health, and then I'm still getting major benefits with the full health. I can get more bulk ups, and then Rage Fist just keeps getting boosted in base power. Draining Kiss is there to get health. Trick is there to maybe trick a Choice Scarf onto something like, I don't know, a Belly Drum Iron Hands or a Swords Dance Iron Hands. But yeah, I mean, it's something, but Terra type is flying this week. I had it as Bug, but then I changed it to flying on Razor's recommendation so I can have a little extra assistance with any ground type moves. Next up is Arabic Knights, returning again. Terra Fairy this week. Leech Seed, Protect, Terra Blast, and Reflect. Reflect is there because I don't see him bringing Brick Break on any of his Pokemon. And if he doesn't bring Brick Break, then I can Leech Seed, I can Terra into Fairy, and Terra Blast does massive damage to his entire team. Not to mention, with the minus attack of 25%, most of his physical attackers won't do jack to Wo-Chien, which is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal that this Pokemon is that good in singles. And then finally is Owen Sunburn, our Iron Moth. I'm rocking Booster Energy this week. Booster Energy on special attack with Flame Charge, because let's just say he does not do Booster Energy Iron Valiant, because Iron Valiant is his fastest Pokemon at base 116 speed. At a +1 Booster Energy Iron Moth, I OHKO it all the time. I have to be at +1 on the Booster Energy for special attack, and I need to do a Flame Charge. So Flame Charge is always the first move I click, and then I just click Fiery Dance, Dazzling Gleam, or Psychic, and go to 10. It's as simple as that, guys. But this team is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to battling Stank, guys. We're going to get connected with him, and I will see you guys in Champaholics Stadium. Alright, everybody, we have gotten connected with Stank and his Mile High Machamp's gonna put in the stats. He actually brought the Riolu. I'm flabbergasted. I'm Speckledor.
That's not even a word, and I agree with you, lad.
Okay, so how am I gonna do this? Like, I still want to lead Gengar. Like, I still want to lead Gengar every day of the week. I think that's what I want to do. I want to lead... I still lead Gengar because that was the plan. And we send a good luck, have fun over to the Stank as we enter his fabled Champaholics Stadium. Oh, this should be good. Sheen. He leads the Riolu. It's gotta be for Prankster. Do I go on a Gardevoir here? Or do I just... I think I do. I think I go into Gardevoir here. I think I have to go into Gardevoir here in case of, like, Prankster Thunder Wave. Or just a Crunch. I'm just gonna click a Draining Kiss here, because this is gonna... none of his Pokemon want to take this hit. Focus Sash. Let me think real quick. Then he had Focus Sash Riolu as his lead. I keep my Sash alive, so that's a good thing. One thing I'm scared about it. think I'm gonna go for. I'm just gonna click the Draining Kiss. Copycat. Alright, so I mean, Riolu goes down. I still don't know why he brought Riolu, though. Now, if he goes, like, Slitherwing with booster energy, then this might be a problem if he doesn't, let's see, Slitherwing... I mean, Draining Kiss, I mean, if it's max HP, it's got a 6.3% chance, but then, I mean, like, he'd have to be... He'd have to be Oh, wait, let's see. The Photosynthesis. Attack. Okay, so its attack. This move will do, at minimum, if it's max HP, it'll do 43.7%. If it has no HP, which I sure as heck would doubt he would do, 52 to 65. And again, he'd have to be max speed with Flame Charge to get... oh, he Terrascalized into what type? Flying. Alright, so we're doing nothing now to it. Trailblazer. He gets his speed boost. Again, he'd have to be... Oh, I hit Photoshop by accident. I mean, I feel like I have to sack Gardevoir here, but at the same time, like... I think I'm just gonna go for the Draining Kiss again. Get it down to 50%, let Gardevoir go down, and let Slither knock me out. Now, if I bring in Gengar, Sludge Bomb does 46 to 55. And that's the play. I have to go, I go Gengar here, and I click Sludge Bomb. It's not even up for debate. I just click the stab Sludge Bomb. He'll probably click Earthquake, and he'll activate my Acrobatics. Also goes down to my Focus Sash. And Slitherwing goes down. His Terra Captain is down. Gengar gets a kill in its debut. Now he probably goes Gallade here and clicks a big ol' Shadow Sneak. Let me see. Iron Moth on Gallade. Dazzling Gleam sadly doesn't do enough to KO. But I mean, it's got good defense, not defense, special defense, so I mean, we'll see what the Gallade set is, because it could have Shadow Sneak. Gallade. Yeah, he's got to have Shadow Sneak on this thing. Do I need Gengar around anymore? I mean, it's nice to have in case of a spin. I mean, we can't do our toxic spike setup anymore that we wanted to. I think I'm gonna risk it. Knock off. Alright, so Gengar goes down. I'm gonna go into you. You know what? Do I want to get the Reflect up now, or do I want to... I mean, how much... let me see. Wo-Chien. Okay, yeah, I've got a Terra here. And then... do I just click the Terra Blast right now? Or do I click the Reflect? Oh, decisions, decisions, decisions to be made, decisions to be made. I'm gonna click the Terra Blast. I'm gonna click it for now and then get our Reflect off. So I mean, Terra Fairy comes out now. Reveal the Terra Fairy. It should do... Are you locked in? I think he might be locked in. Yeah, I'm gonna go for my Reflect here now. You're locked in. Oh, if only I had Justified. I'm just not realizing I didn't have Justified. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think I'm gonna go into you. Oh, he withdraws, and I knocked out my headphones by accident. Bing Hoppins. Could have went for the Leech Seed there. That would have been dope. Iron Maw, Iron Hands. He is most likely Assault Vest. Psychic is a 2-hit KO. And with Reflect up, I mean, if he has Earthquake, he'll knock me out. If he has Earthquake, he knocks me out here. If I still click... Get the Fake Out turn 1, okay. I still click Psychic. Yeah, you're Assault Vest. Ooh, got the Spadef drop. Thunder Punch. I mean, I'm still faster than everything on his team, so... What is he going into? Blade. Oh, right, I forgot I have Reflector. Alright, Glade goes down. Iron Moth picks up the KO. Ah, smart. Stall out the... Vegi-Rap. Weird, like, names, for sure. I'm just gonna click a Fiery Dance here. Because unless you're Scarf Breloom. No, you're Sash. So Breloom will pick up a KO here. Maybe. I am clicking a Flame Charge right here, and I'm going to get to +1. Or not. I go to you and I click Vacuum Wave here. Do I click Vacuum Wave? Yeah, I click Vacuum Wave. Yeah. Lucario gets a KO. Breloom goes down. Real good battle so far. How much is my Lucario doing on a Great Tusk? Psychic is a guaranteed Oko. And on Iron Hands... If he's Assault Vest, which I assume he is, I knock him out from right here. Let's see, what does he want to do? If he goes for Fake Out, now that I've realized it, if he goes for Fake Out and I flinch, then my Steadfast goes off. Alright. Alright, Iron Hands goes down. Lucario picks up kill number 2. Alright, that's a Great Tusk and a Dream. You are not Booster Energy. Are you Assault Vest? We're about to find out. Could even be Scarf. It's Scarf. It is a Scarf. Yeah, it's Scarf. Great Tusk against my Wo-Chien. Select is not up. Is -1 and -1. I could just go into Wo-Chien right here and click Terra Blast and win the game. It looks like, because he has to be Scarf. The fact that he was... If I'm going to protect the first turn, I just want to scout. I just want to scout. Yeah, you're locked in. Terra Blast. And you're at -2 now. And this should be enough for Wo-Chien to eviscerate the Great Tusk. Whew. Got a little scary there at the end. But we managed to get a 2-0 victory, guys, against a... I mean, honestly, Stank is just so good with fighting types, yo. He really freaking is. And honestly, we couldn't even do our Toxic Spike strategy, too, because, I mean, he had Riolu. Like, I'm honestly kind of sad about that. Again, GG Sustains, guys. Go sub to him. Go follow his content, guys, because Champaholic Stadium is really dope, yo. Champaholic Stadium is dope. I'm going to try to get connected with Stank. Maybe he'll do a post-match. If it's there, you'll see it after this part. If not, I'll see you guys next time. Leave a like on the video, comment down below, and let's get to 300 subscribers, Talonites. I shall see you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered the Champaholic Stadium. We have somehow managed to defeat the ultimate gym leader and king of Swole himself, Stank, and his Mile High Machamps. And Stank has been gracious enough to join us for a post-game press conference. Say hello to the people, Stank.
Champaholics. What's going on, everybody? I'm Stank, the coach of the Mile High Machamps, Supreme King, Overlord of Champaholics. Playing the SDA this season, back on my bowl with the Monotype team, having a decent amount of success, but we'll see how it goes. Always a fun time to play the Atlanta Talonflames. We have played a few times, I think in SPC for sure. We've now played in SDA. I believe we've played in PAC once or twice.
I don't think I've ever played PAC before. I don't think I've ever been good enough to get a PAC invite.
Oh, I didn't realize PAC was Hollywood. I mean, they did invite me.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been good enough to get a PAC invite. But hey, maybe they hear this and they're like, hey, let's give Joe a chance.
This is my endorsement for Joe right now. Right. If you're listening, Sven, the Supreme Cat, I think he always has like a crab in his profile pic. The Supreme Crab Leader, Sven, the ruler of PAC. Give this man a shot, all right?
Well, I appreciate that. And thing about Sven is that I think he's the same Sven that, like, we were just talking before we went live with the post-match about the VGC regionals and whatnot. And I think Sven is the same Sven that I saw on social media, the one that I guess he used to play VGC. So, you know,
yes.
Who knows? It could be the same person, one of the same. I mean,
I think it might be, actually. I mean, he's like really good at VGC. I've noticed that.
Yes, I mean, it's like, and speaking of VGC in the sense, you actually brought a staple from Gen 8, and Stank, I said this in my team builder, I was like, I don't see any reason that he's gonna bring Riolu unless he brings some weird prankster set.
I did.
And he brought the prankster!
I did.
Like,
didn't really have the effects that I wanted, but what isn't totally on the miss, I'd argue. Did get the crunch, did get the copycat crunch on the 1 HP draining kiss. Probably about as good as I was going to get in that situation with the Riolu. Was kind of hoping you didn't lead the ghost. Was slightly tempted to go for the sword stance there. I just didn't want to risk taking a hit, going down to Sash, and then not being able to fire back or be fast enough to really do anything. So that was the idea there.
Yeah, so like with my Gengar this week, like I said it in the in the team builder, as you see on the paste, I got toxic spikes on this bad boy. The hope was that I could get a turn 1 toxic spikes off, because your only removal is Great Tusk, which, as I'm now looking, it doesn't have.
No.
I mean, it's Scarf this week.
I knew I was playing. Yeah, I knew I was playing you this week. I'm like, I think when we last played, I don't think either of us really dropped any hazards. So I figured maybe the same thing was going to happen. So I kind of opted out to bring the Railu, just because it'd been right in the bench and I had to put him in. And to maybe take the Great Tusk on the offensive a little bit.
Yeah, because it's like when I saw that it was faster than Lucario.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna know I'm scarfed now.
Yeah, the second I saw that, I was like, okay, it's Scarf, and then I'm frantically looking at the calcs. I'm like, okay, can Wo-Chien live this headlong rush? And I'm like, oh, it can easily live this headlong rush. Which
I was like, that thing is pretty swole. You know, So when I didn't even take it into the yellow, and I'm like, yeah, I'm only losing more and more defense. But I mean, that's like, at that point, it was like my best option, I think. But yeah, I was like, he's not gonna know that I'm scarfed, or if he even like kind of thought that, he'd probably just vacuum wave to get some damage. But after that turn, yeah, the cat was out of the bag.
Yeah, so my team this week, like some of the sets, I did shout him out in the team builder. Razor Claw, I think you might have battled him once before.
Maybe.
He's Australian. He has the Townsville Tyrannotars. Maybe you've just even been like you follow him a little bit. But
yeah, I think so.
So I asked him for a little advice, and he was the one who suggested this specific Lucario set with the double priority and naive nature and stuff like that. And I mean, basically, I mean, it's a fight. Yes, it's a mono fighting team, and I know Absolute 76, our fearless and wonderful commissioner, he wasn't the biggest fan of a mono-type team.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of hate, Joe.
In the power rankings, it makes sense. But here's the thing: just because somebody knows that you're an entire mono-type team, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can just... So, like in your case, you're fighting type. Just because I bring psychic moves, just because I bring ghost types, just because I bring fairy types, just because I bring fairy type moves, just because I bring flying types, that doesn't necessarily mean that I am gonna I can just click those moves freely and easily and just expect a win, or like a 5-0 or 6-0. Like, people who do monotype, as I've seen, and this is also coming from me as our, ruler of iron, because almost nobody can beat me with a mono steel team. I mean, people have tried, a lot of people have failed, but when you're looking at that, like, you've battled with fighting types, you have trained with fighting types. Like, you are in the gym. You said before you tore your pec because Machamp tried to make you lift more than you needed to.
Yeah, I've played a lot of seasons in different areas with a monotype, and in fact, playing without it was something that was a little bit new to me. I did have obviously a little bit more success not playing the monotype, but it is something I like to do just for fun,
Yeah, it's like the main thing is having fun. Like,
yeah, I don't like to. I mean, I don't like to do things I don't enjoy, especially like on my off time. I don't want things to be like stressful or anything like that. So yeah, I genuinely like just enjoy playing Pokemon and creating content and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's like when I saw like some of your composition and stuff like that, like, I mean, the Slitherwing. So when I saw that you had hands, you had hands, you had Tusk, you had Slitherwing, I'm like, okay, probably he's gonna be booster energy on Slitherwing, because that was something that I scouted. I looked at some minor previous games and whatnot. I'm like, okay, he runs Terra Flying on his Slitherwing, but he does really good with it. Because I mean, here's the other thing: like, some people don't realize, Slitherwing with that attack, if it gets the booster energy attack, it hits like a Mack truck. Like, people don't realize
the acrobat.
That.
Yeah, acrobatics is pretty good.
Yeah, and especially with the fact that it gets 110 base power on top of the Terra Stab, but you have Trailblaze as well. Like, you predominantly be running Flame Charge, so you have a way to offset the speed boost. So you still get the speed boost, as opposed to your first week where you led Slitherwing, and you had the Arcanine where it lowered your attack stat, and you were just under your attack versus speed, so you got the speed boost instead of the attack boost. So
yeah, that week 1, that was whether intentional or not. That I even forgot about that. That kind of threw me through a curve. Had to switch it out. But yeah, I like the Slitherwing. It's the first time really using the Slitherwing in a league. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like, fun story with Slitherwing, because like how we said, we were talking about VGC before we went live on this. When I did Orlando with all the SPC homies, my round 3, I battled a Slitherwing, and I got that. I knocked it out in game 1. In game 3, now we had to redo game 3. It was a sudden death version of game 3 because I got the ally switch correct. I got both of his Pokemon knocked out, so I was up 4-2. But a disconnect happened, so 4-2 counted as a tie, and we had to do sudden death. He switched into Slitherwing because on our first turn, nobody knocked out a Pokemon, and he, as the judge, he was like, can I switch Pokemon out in sudden death? And the judge was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's like who first to get a kill wins. So I knew what he was going to switch into. So I knew what he was going to switch into. I made the play, and I knocked it out because it was like. But the Slitherwing was very scary. Like, because he had the first impression Slitherwing. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. And then Gallade with the Scarf this week. So like. Now, let's be real on one thing. Justified was really good on Gallade in Gen 8. Sharpness is so much better for this Pokemon. Like, thank God they gave Gallade something good. Yeah,
I like the Gallade. Maybe didn't really play it to its advantages here. I did opt to sack the Gallade. I know I was thinking maybe I was going to get hit with another Terra Blast and just go down on the Gallade, so I just stayed in and knocked. But then you put the Reflect up, and I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah, so I had to switch. I couldn't risk any more setup, whether it was like seeds or anything. So I went back into hands, and I had the Fake Out, so I could at least stall one turn of the screen. And then, opted to switch him in for a sack to get another. That's a tough thing about like the monotype is, if I have to switch, or if I want to switch, it's gonna end up costing me, unfortunately, And didn't really have too much impacts on the Gallade this week, but we'll see if I can make something happen. It does get a couple tricky things. It does get like Trick Room. It does get Memento. That might be able to set up something like a Belly Drum Hands.
I have run Memento Gallade before, and it worked out really well. And then if you want a Belly Drum hand set, I recommend Badass Frostlass. He has a really mean Belly Drum hand set. I highly recommend asking him for advice on it, because he knows his way around the Cybernetic Hariyama. But what got me was that I had Iron Hands out there. Not Iron Hands. You had Iron Hands. I had Iron Moth, and I'm like, okay, he gets the Fake Out. So, I'm thinking maybe, he didn't notice the booster energy proc.
You're right.
And, I'm thinking, okay, so he did the Fake Out so he could get the Focus Sash broken, and then he KOs me with, an Earthquake or something, and you don't have Earthquake this week, so I'm like, wow, this actually is pretty shocking to me.
Didn't run the Earthquake. Did bring the Bulldoze on the Breloom. Did have the Sash, but was thinking maybe in the event that you did happen to switch out, I was just planning on getting the swords up because I think even with the resisted Mach Punch, it was probably still going to KO.
Yeah,
regardless.
It did KO me from where I was. Like I was like, do I live a +2 technician boosted resisted Mach Punch? And survey says
no.
And then everybody's like, oh, but I mean, Iron Walk did. I mean, it did its job this week. But literally, like my whole plan was hopefully to get the toxic spikes up this week. Like I had a feeling like maybe I could do it, but it was like when you led Rioldo, I'm like, okay, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't lead that because what if he's got Prankster Taunt? Like I can't. Like I mean, I get Prankster doesn't work on dark types anymore, but it still works on a ghost type. So
yeah,
if I did that, then I couldn't worry about that. I couldn't get the toxic spikes up. Now, in hindsight, now that I know that you didn't have removal this week, hindsight's 20/20. You don't really think these things go through and everything, but I mean it works and stuff like that. And then my Annihilate set, I didn't even get a chance to use that. That one was Rage Fist with bulk up and whatnot, just to try to make. I mean, who knows? I could have been lucky. I get you on a Technician Bulldoze, which I think I probably live at +2. I mean, Annihilate is kind of bulky at base 80 and
yeah, it is pretty bulky. I wasn't really expecting to take Annihilate down in any kind of like one hit. I think even if you ran it bulky, I wasn't really max speed Breloom either. Like I was adamant.
Yeah, so my Annihilate, I actually put in enough speed to where if you were Jolly Breloom, I outspeed you every day by 1 point. So it's
okay.
Like,
I was like, I don't think I take down the Annihilate.
Yeah, it's like, no, I mean, again, don't get me wrong, like, dude, like, you're like a mono fighting god when it comes to this stuff. So it's like, again, like I say this legitimately coming from a person who loves steel types. I will defend steel types till the end of time. That they're the best type in Pokemon, they're the best Terra type, they're the best Mega Evolutions, all that stuff. But when you battle with a monotype team long enough, you not only know how to attack somebody, but you know how to defend and play into your weaknesses. So, like, you know how to play with mono fighting, dude. Like, that's something that I fully respect.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of trial and error. If I had to play one type, it would be mono fighting, just because it's a comfort zone for me. I've just been doing it for a while. I think when I started playing draft leagues in general back in, I think it was probably like 2020. It was the first time I got hooked up with the SPC. Of course, they were the TPL then.
Yeah.
And I played mono fighting the whole time.
To all of our SPC but TPL homies, shout out to that season.
Yeah, shout out to all the real OGs.
The NFL style TPL 16 game regular season with only 8 Pokemon per team. That is a throwback. And in all fairness, I wonder how many players would actually sign up for that kind of a league again if it came out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was kind of brutal. And then I was mono fighting the whole time too.
It got brutal near the end of the season, but
I'll agree with that. Yeah, towards the end of the season, it got pretty rough. Yeah,
but I mean that'd be funny if it came back around again. Like maybe even do that, a monotype NFL season where you have to have 16 coaches. Or 18. Each one gets that type, and you have to play each type at least once over 17 weeks, and then like you go from there, and then top 8 or something like that, go to playoffs or whatever, standard draft league. But it would be like you get that type, and even and dual types, like you would still like they would be good for both pools. But I mean, it's something to think about. But again, we're thinking about a a league in the past that was a lot of fun, but just probably the epitome of a grueling journey.
It really kind of was, right? It was brutal, right? But I mean, it was like my first league I ever played, so I didn't know any better. You know, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I don't even know how I got in touch with TPL. I couldn't even tell you. I think I was maybe putting out a couple videos and maybe got a comment from someone and was like, hey, we had a coach drop, and I think I took over a coach like at the beginning of the season and then just drafted all the mono types that were in the free agency. I think I ended up with like a Poliwrath and some other stuff, which Poliwrath with Dynamax was actually pretty good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, especially with setting up Max.
Yeah, it's set up its own rain.
Yeah, Max Geyser for rain and stuff like that. Like it worked out, and like but no, like that was a fun time. I mean, truly, I don't even remember how I got a hold of the TPL guys, but I think we can say without a shadow of a doubt that without TPL, we wouldn't know some of the best people in draft today.
That's true. Like, I've met a lot of people.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Not literally.
Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, even though this is for SDA, and SDA has great coaches in both Latios division and Latios division, we will not sugarcoat that. But in a sense of where people meet, you know, guys for the first time, like, you know, without TPO, we wouldn't know guys like Frostlass and Sharpedo and Artisan Kane and all those guys. So I mean, it's like, and even Gert Bilbo. Like, let's not forget, TPL started #Gert mode.
Gert mode.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gert's mode, you want to hear the most Gert mode thing ever? Gert mode in the grand finals of CBL last season. I think it's just a league he runs with like all his UK and like European buddies. I made it to grand finals because I had like the most busted team, right? I had like Chen Pao, I had Palmont, I had Houndstone, and you could actually use like Last Respects. I had Sandaconda. So anyway, I like slime my way into grand finals, dude. And the final game of that, he actually beat me on a crit, which was the most Gert mode thing that's like ever happened to me, dude.
Yeah, that sounds like Gert mode right there.
Like, that is the epitome, the very soul of what it means to be Gert mode.
Yeah, and it's like, and I mean, hey, Gert's in SDA, so it's like, you know,
this is true.
I'm looking back in the results just to maybe, you know, see something with him. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything that looks like a you know, a #Gert mode. I mean, there was the Quaquaval mirror where
I did see that
where Sceptile's Quaquaval did damage, but his Quaquaval did nothing. So I mean, it's like there are some things with that. So I mean, it's like, so I mean, you know, but at the same time, I mean, we know it's Gert. He'll find a way to make the dancing bird even more ridiculous than it already is.
Totally. Like, Gert mode, it's a staple in every household right now.
This is very
so hot right now. Looking at the rest of my schedule, I do have to play Gert mode. I think not next week, but the week after that. That's going to be a tough matchup, and I do not have the Last Respects anymore. So I don't know. I think if I'm about to get like 6-0'd this season in SDA, it's probably going to come from Gert. I'll admit that.
In week 8, so like next week for you, you've got just JH and his Glamorgan, Vale, Great Tusk. I think I did that team name right. Yeah, Glamorgan, Vale, Great Tusk. How about that? So yeah, you gotta battle him next week. For me, oh boy, I get to battle Sosa. Yes, I get to battle my homie
King Sosa.
Yeah,
God.
That's gonna be a real fun game against Sosa. I mean, he's a real good dude.
Yeah, he is. And I've told this story about Sosa a couple times. We did play in PAC. I think it was the VGC League, and I think we went to like Game 3, and he did actually end up disconnecting and wanted to give me the win, which was very champaholics of him. However, I did not take it. I did concede because he was just outplaying me, you know. So I couldn't really feel good about accepting that win. But he did offer it to me, which says a lot about the man's character.
Yeah, that does make. I mean, that just shows, you know, a good competitor. And again, Sosa's real good. I mean, he's one of my commissioners in the YCL Wi-Fi, and probably when we schedule it this week, because, you know, fortunately, I mean, granted, this video goes up during the week that I'm off work, but the fact that I'm off work this week means I can probably get him and my other commissioner, and we can maybe get a time scheduled for what's it called? Figuring out what to do for YCL.
I have not heard of YCL, but I think if I get more time, I'd like to get in some leagues that I haven't been in yet. Because Champaholics is like a plague that's slowly scattering throughout all of the Discord servers. Well, so, I mean, I'll probably infect that one at some point.
Well, I mean, we're definitely going to end it on one thing. The Champaholics Stadium, it was screaming in this battle.
Oh, it's always screaming.
It's
always screaming. It's always handsome. It's always athletic.
It's always like, you know, you got to get through some of the toughest and strongest gym challenges and those puzzles just to even make it to the leader stank. And when you get there, that battle is gonna push you and push you and push you more than Brock Lesnar in Suplex City, bitch.
You're gonna have to bring a doctor's note. We're gonna check your credit score. We're gonna do the whole 9 yards here at Champaholic Stadium.
That's how it is, guys. Go sub to Stank after this press conference, guys. He is one of the coolest dudes out there. And again, I mean, if you want a mono fighting guy and you want to battle him, good luck, because you're gonna need it.